तुझसे ही उभरी तुझ में है समाई जीवन शक्ति धरती माँ हे शांति शांति
Yeah, so with that, on that note of world harmony and peace, we will start today's session. I would like to introduce the panelists of today's session. Yeah, so first, our entrepreneur who is going to share his story. He's our first panelist for this session, Mr. Narendra K. Pasuparthi. He calls himself the chief farmer of Nando's Chicken, and he is also the CEO of this company. While he hails from the business family, he chose to work outside the family business for over a decade to gain an understanding of every function within an organization from an employee's perspective. His ability to build a strong organization from the ground up with a complete understanding of its end-to-end operation reflects in the way Nando's Chicken has grown and tasted success over the years. He also leads the poultry operations of Nanda Group in Karnataka and the UAE and Oman. Narendra Sir, fondly known as Naren, holds a Bachelor's of Engineering from BMS College of Engineering and a Master's in Information Science and Technology from the University of Texas. Nando's Chicken was born in 2016 with an objective to provide great quality, fresh, antibiotic-free and branded chicken products to discerning customers in India. It is currently the only hyper-local omni-channel meat retail brand in India. The company follows an integrated business model that prides itself on 100% product traceability with the promise of safety and accountability. Naren Sir's vision to adopt sustainable production of animal protein has made Nanda Group a pioneer in this category. It is the first Indian poultry company to invest in biogas-based electric generation as well as solar-powered electricity generation. He is a passionate environmentalist and also has founded another venture, that is Insectify, and circular economy company which extends to solve the urban wet waste problem by using the black soldier fly larvae. The primary objective is to produce insect protein for use of the poultry and fish feed industry and to replace soya and fish meal, both of which are environmentally taxing and destructive. The process involves breeding the house and housing more than 10 million larvae, which is enough to consume 3,000 kgs of wet waste per day. Through this initiative, the company aims to take care of an entire city's wet waste completely and naturally. Narendra Sir is also an active angel investor as part of Mumbai Angels Investor Network. He is an avid badminton player. His hobbies include aeromodeling, biking, and music. He also enjoys horticulture and agriculture, which have led to the creation of several fruit orchards of the company's farms. So we are very happy and privileged to have you here with us today for our hashtag I Have a Story. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful introduction.
Yeah. Sir, I on behalf of...
Yes, sir. I would request Director Sir to welcome you.
I, on behalf of the entire RVIM family and the trust, welcome you, sir, to this hashtag I have a story session, and would like to hear from you the entrepreneurial journey so far, because it appears very, very interesting and thrilling to most of us. So without wasting much time, I request you to please share your journey, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Dr. Bang. I think it's truly humbling, such a wonderful introduction. And I see there are 115 people on the call. And,
Yes, sir.
it's
All
truly
waiting
humbling.
to hear to
Yes,
you, sir.
absolutely.
So if you give me a few more minutes, I'll just
Sure,
welcome some more people and then we
sure,
can start.
sure.
I'll also like to welcome Shri P.S. Nandakumar, sir, who is a proud father of Mr. Narendra, and also our a reputed trustee, Rashtriya Shikshana Samiti Trust, and member and of the governing council of R.V.Institute of Management. So welcome, sir, for this session. And all the other dignitaries who have been attending this session. I welcome heartily all the dignitaries on this session. I welcome our director, sir, Dr. Purushottam Bang, who has been always supporting in this endeavors and our incubation activities. And I would also like to welcome Mr. Supreet T, who is the moderator of today's session. He is the alumnus of RVIM, and he was also the coordinator of RVIM Center for Incubation, Entrepreneurship and Innovation. And he pioneered this hashtag I have a story from our center. So today we are happy to have him as a moderator. He is currently working as a customer success manager at McCafe. So welcome to everyone and the participants who have logged in for this session. I hope you have a very fruitful session. I think with that, I will pass over to Supreet to start the session.
Thank you,
Welcome.
ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Nice to see you back again.
Yes, nice to see you too, sir.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction. And thank you, Mr. Narendra, sir, for taking time to be with us and share your journey on this show, hashtag I have a story. And before we get started, just a gentle reminder to all our attendees to post your questions in the Q&As in the chat box on the screens, and we'll get to that at the end of the session. Now, moving on to the main person here. So let us rewind your journey a bit. Seeing your introduction, seeing your profile, you're coming from a strong business background family, and you went on to do engineering and also an MS in information science. And you started working as a software engineer for almost 8 years in cyber technologies and websins. So you had a good career going. Why did you choose to come back? Why did you start to indulge in this beautiful journey? What changed, sir? We like to hear your journey.
Okay. Very interesting question. I did my master's in computer science and information systems, and then I went on to work with Sabre, and thereafterwards another startup called Web Methods. And during these years, I worked different roles. Started at the ground level as a very junior software engineer, and then went up the ladder. And towards the end of my career in the US, I was in the sales role. And having come from a family of entrepreneurs and business people, there's always an itch. You want to be an entrepreneur,
True.
right? So you want to do something, you want to start something. I had tried various options in the US, and then finally I figured that uh, there was there was something missing. There was like, it was not a very fulfilling. It was a rat race. I was getting burnt into different startups, long hours, but no matter what we did, it was something was not fitting. Life was not fulfilling. There was a lot of work to be done. A lot of milestones were achieved, but still it was not very satisfying, right? So that's when I decided to actually wind up my 12 years stay in the US and come back to the family business, right? The idea was to come back and start something on my own. And that's what prompted me to pack up and arrive in India in 2006. So yeah.
Was it an easy decision?
Well, okay. So again, I think it's very important to answer that, right? Like I'd been in the US for about 11 years or so by the time I made the decision, and it's never easy, right?
Yeah.
You are literally uprooting the family, you're changing gears, you're shifting careers, you're used to a certain lifestyle in the US, and then you want to come back to India. You don't know what. I mean, of course, there's family, relatives, and all of that, but then there's a huge reality change when you actually come back, right?
Yeah.
But I was very determined to make it work,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So that was one of the life lessons I want to share, that if you are determined to do something, you should just go out and do that,
Mhm.
right? Uh, a lot of my friends who actually relocated to India always said, I'm going to try it for a year or two, and then if it doesn't work out, I'm going to go back. So I'm going to keep my options open. So in my case, I decided right off the bat that I'm not going to leave any windows open for me to get back to the US, right? So if I took that decision, I would come to India. No matter what happened, I would make it work,
Got
right?
it.
So that's a very important life lesson. As entrepreneurs, as individuals, we have to commit to something, and no matter what, we have to stick to it, right? So the initial few years were a little confusing. Never lost hope. um, I stuck to patience, and I stuck to doing what I wanted to do no matter what happened, right? So leave no window open so that you relook at your decisions.
Got it.
So yeah, it's absolutely worth it now.
Yeah, nice to hear that, sir. Yeah, I just want to touch up on this stronghold that you told, that determination as the strong base. So you had a strong base in engineering, right? Doing an MS and B also in engineering. You could have done a startup in the technology sector itself. But even in India, you could have done a startup. But why choose Nandu's Chicken? Why that field? Why that area?
Right. So I come from a poultry business family,
Mhm.
and we had this family business which is about 50 years old. We are one of the oldest poultry companies in south of India, with operations all over South India. And this entire enterprise was started by my father in 1960s, in the early 1960s. So coming from a family business, like many of our students here would know, at some point in time they're involved in the business. The breakfast table and lunch table discussions are all about business, how business is doing, why the accounts is not in place, why this guy is not giving us money back. You're exposed to it, right? Like
True.
a lot of us are coming from the family business, so the business is always in the in my mind, right? And um, that was what kept me motivated. I understood the business. um, since there was an understanding of the business, and it is such a basic business, right? Like it touches people's lives. People are consuming what we produce, and it makes such a huge difference in their life, right? Good produce means great health for our consumers, right? That was one of the things that struck me very early on, and I said, I've done engineering for a while, and engineering touches lives in a certain way.
I
It
know.
may entertain you by gaming, or it may make your daily life very convenient, but the level of happiness you get from feeding somebody great
Correct.
quality produce is
Got it.
something else altogether, right?
Yes.
So that's what was very attractive for me, and it was very practical, right? And it applied in so many areas, but it's the same set of skills that was required. We need technology for poultry, we need accounts for poultry, marketing. So many things are applicable in every industry that each of us are involved in. So it was very satisfying because we could touch people's lives, and that's what's kind of attracted to me towards poultry, and I never
Mhm.
looked back.
Awesome. So you told like you returned in the year 2006. So was that the year Nando's Chicken started, or was it a long journey? Can you please
Okay,
touch base on that?
okay, good. I am happy you asked me that. So like everybody else, I was actually very confused as well. right? When people say, you know, I have a vision, I don't necessarily believe that anybody's got a vision or anybody is, you know, knows exactly what they're going to do 10 years down the line. It's
Yes.
very difficult, right? 10 years is too long, 5 years is too long, life is too fast paced right now, right? And um, for me, when I came back, it was a lot of learning of the existing business. The business had grown large from the time I had left India. There were a lot of moving parts. So the first few years was about catching up, learning the core business, right? And in 2006, I came back, and towards the end of 2006, I actually launched Nandu's, right? We had this brand in the family since 1989, and we had not done much about it. So I said, if every other part of the business is already being managed, let me pick up this brand name Nandu's and launch it back, you know, in a slightly different avatar. So that's when we created about 25 different products. These were all retort technology products, where we did 10 non-vegetarian, 10 vegetarian products. And then we brought it to market. And that was a great learning for me. That was the first time I was launching a brand and working with food technologists to come up with a lot of you know, ready to eat and ready to cook items, talking to FMCG companies, talking to modern trade, placing the shelf on the market, creating a lot of marketing content. So that was a superb learning. And I did that for about 2 years unless we kind of came to realize that the freshness quotient is so hardly ingrained in consumer minds in India,
Yes.
that they were not going to open a pouch and consume a biryani out of it, right? So that venture did not really go anywhere. Again, that was my first failure. That was, you know, I shut that down sometime in 2000, end of 2007. And at the same time, I launched another company which was slightly technology based. It was a DVD rental company. It was, you know, completely different from the poultry business in Nandu's, and it was a DVD rental company out of a kiosk. So it was like your ATM machine, except that it was about 8 feet tall, and it contained about 1,000 DVDs. So it had a touch screen, and you could go to the machine, you know, look at all the movies that are available. You can rent from anywhere and return any other machine. We had about 5 machines. So that was very interesting, because that was the first time I actually created a brand. So it was about identifying a brand name, creating collateral around it, registering the brand, launching the business. We were a 7-member team, and it was a phenomenal journey, right? So again, about a year and a half later, that business failed as well, right? so,
Okay.
so yeah, I always wondered, how come I'm launching businesses and I can't get it right? But today, when I look back, so Flick Express ran for 2 years up till 2009, and after 2009, I just decided that I'm a big sustainability advocate, right? Amazing video that you played in the beginning. It's truly inspiring, and that's what I focused on, making our core business, the poultry business, sustainable. So I came back. I said, enough of starting and closing companies. Now let me just stay focused on the task at hand, right? Sometimes what happens is, a lot of us, we don't really know the value of what we have in hand, right?
Yeah.
Then we go looking for value elsewhere, and then we come back.
Yeah.
But there is a lesson to that too. That experience is very important for you to go explore, fail, learn, and then realize the value and come back. Makes you appreciate what you have. That's exactly what happened in my case. I came back, I stayed dedicated. I said, no more distractions. I'm going to stay put in the family business, and I'm going to see how we can take our breeding operations, our poultry operations, and totally automate everything. A lot of sustainability activities like biogas plants in all our farms to consume the manure, produce biogas from that, produce electricity from that biogas. Then we adopted solar energy in all our farms. Just to give you an example, by just adopting solar energy and making the farm self-sufficient. I'm not talking about solar water heaters. I'm talking about producing electricity, solar PV, photovoltaic. Right?
Yeah.
So the minute we put that in, within a few months, we started consuming, almost 10% of the diesel that we used to consume. So one of the farms went from consuming 650 liters of diesel a month to just under 50 liters a month, right? And people were just shocked. They said, you're making money while making your business sustainable, and that's what sustainability is, right?
True. Yeah.
So that was what it was, and then over the next 6-7 years, a lot of effort in increasing our productivities across the farms, adoption of a lot of technology, sustainable methods of producing animals. And then in 2017, I said it's about time. I should give it another shot at Nandu's and see if I'll succeed this time. So that's when we launched Nandu's again in 2000, end of 2016. And this time, it has taken the shape it has taken now.
Nice. So 3 years for Nando's Chicken now.
Yes.
Awesome, sir. Awesome. So I would like to touch base upon two words that you mentioned in this journey. One is skill set that you developed, and the other one is experience. So according to you, based on this journey, which do you think is more important? Is it skill set, developing a wide range or focusing on one, or is it experience?
See, I think I can speak for myself here. I may or may not be right. But the first few initial years are time that one has to build skill set, right? Now, from where I am, if I look back, I graduated almost 21 years ago from masters, and I've been, in the workplace. When I look back now, the first few years were about learning skill set, right? You're learning discipline, you're learning commitment, you're learning schedules. You're learning so much about the organization, the people, the structures. It is, you're slowly picking up all of those skill sets, but people have to stay patient. Right. Most of us are impatient. We just want to get through it and say, okay, hey, what's next? When am I going to make the next $1 million?
Yes.
I don't think there is a shortcut. So you have to pick up skill set. While you're picking up that skill set, and every journey that you make, every next milestone that you hit gives you a lot more experience.
True. Yeah.
Right? So the first few years, to answer your question, the first few years is about picking up skill set. Please be, I say that people should stay patient, right? There is no shortcuts to picking up skill set. You have to pay your dues. You have to go through the rigmarole. You have to go through the grind, pick up those skill sets, and that's when you are building a recipe for success.
Awesome. So then comes the first develop your skill, on the way get the experience, then start your this thing. Awesome. So an interesting thought came here. Like in your bio, there's something called as a chief farmer. Why that tagline?
Well, poultry is agricultural activity. We are farming the chicken. So I figured, just like people grow vegetables and staple crops, we are producing chicken. We are growing chicken, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no production of chicken. The chicken grows.
Yeah, there's no assembly line.
Yeah. So that's why I don't know, the branding expert who came into Nandu's and helped us kind of do the brand. He was like, "Hey, you are a farmer, right?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So and then you're the chief of this company. So you should actually be calling yourself chief farmer. I said, absolutely. That next door is
Go for it. Nice. Um, so, like a couple of minutes ago, you mentioned like there is no vision, like 10 years, 5 years. That's a long this thing, and I agree with you. Like destination is like a mirage. You reach one and it shifts. You reach the other one, it keeps shifting.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask you one thing. Like, what is your big dream or vision or destination that you're trying to reach?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't have a destination in mind, frankly, right?
Okay.
I practice mindfulness meditation, and one of the tenets of mindfulness is being in the present,
Mhm.
right? So I have avoided staying, looking at the destination and trying to figure out where I'm going to be 10 years from now. I'm absolutely focused on what am I going to do today?
Mhm.
What are the experiences that I'm going to pick up today, whether it is business experience or any other sort of experience. I would just want to absolutely enjoy the journey.
Mhm.
Right.
Got it.
So when I started Nandu's and I started recruiting people, I said, join me on this beautiful journey. And this journey is going to be absolutely fun.
Mhm.
It's going to be meaningful to your lives. And I think for myself, I don't know, the team should say more to this, but I have enjoyed personally my journey along Nandu's. I've learned a lot. Uh, I mean, uh, entrepreneurship is about learning, maturing, growing, and it's a repetitive cycle,
Yeah.
right? So every day I'm learning something new. Every day it's a new challenge. So I'm just absolutely focused on enjoying this journey. It's not about the destination. You will reach the destination.
Yeah.
So even at Nandu's, we keep saying we want to absolutely deliver quality and delight to the end consumer, and everything else will come.
Mhm.
Right? Success
Yeah.
will come, money will come, everything else will come. If you're just absolutely staying focused on the task at hand in the moment and enjoying that journey,
Yeah.
right?
Awesome. So, an interesting question here. At this exact point, if you're given a chance to start over, like completely from the beginning,
Right.
what is it different that you would do this time?
Well, I don't think, I mean, in my journey of having to come to India and did the two failed ventures and then Nandu's now, etc., I don't think I would change anything, right?
Ah.
The reason is simple. I don't know if there's this speech by Steve Jobs. He says, you can connect when you look back. You can actually connect the dots.
Yeah.
It is absolutely so brilliantly said. It is so true, and it is so true in so many of our lives, right? So standing where I am today, when I look back, I have no reason to change anything, because what I went through then is what put me in this position today, right? So Nandu's, when I started Nandu's in 2006, a lot of learning. I came from a computer background. We are talking systems and we are talking tech and scalability, SOA, EJB, all of those three-letter acronyms that most tech guys are used to, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly I was talking Rajma Chawal, Biryani, Avadi, butter chicken. Okay, packing has to be like this, branding has to be like this, there's below the line activity, above the line activity. So I worked with a wonderful set of professionals from whom I was able to learn a lot, right? And then, although the venture failed at that time, and I felt, yeah, what the hell, I wasted 2 years of my life and this didn't get anywhere. Then came Flick Express, a lot of learning there, a lot of tech learning. I had collaborated with another entrepreneur from Stanford, and we were designing the boxes for a large-scale adoption across South India. About 300 boxes we wanted to do across South India and do all this entertainment business, which was very glamorous. Again, there was a learning there. It failed, right? And then again, for a few years, I just stayed focused until I started Nandu's. Now, after starting Nandu's, all of the things that I learned in those two failed ventures is what is helping me build Nandu's, right? So back in the Nandu's time in 2006, I dealt with agencies, advertising agencies, marketing agencies, PR agencies, product development. All of those skills is what I'm applying today. All of the things that I did with Flick Express, the tech and all of that, those experiences are coming to play today. So when I'm looking back, I'm actually connecting the dots and saying, okay, this was meant to fail so that, what I took away from that was the learning.
Yeah.
So failure is absolutely not, I appreciate failure very much because it teaches you lessons. So there is nothing to change. And I don't want to restart. I'm perfectly fine with those two failed ventures, which have actually put me in the position I am today. Right?
Awesome. Yeah. Wonderful, sir. So one thing is this year has been topsy-turvy for many businesses. Like we have this, like these are uncertain times with the COVID situation and crisis for many business alike. Just day before yesterday, we saw Koshi's telling like, we're closing our operations. We don't want our customers to come in. Many businesses are closing. So can you share your personal learning and what can budding entrepreneurs or young professionals alike can apply in their journey ahead? How can they navigate through these tough situations or difficult times?
Right. So when COVID happened, see, for some reason, I always felt that getting into this year and hearing this news from China that there's an emerging disease happening, it looks like it's going to break out, etc., etc. So there was, I kind of, coming from the poultry business, we have dealt with bird flu. In 2006, the first bird flu happened in India for the first time.
Yes.
So we had some amount of experience dealing with something that massive. Luckily, bird flu never jumped into humans and then it just went away. So we knew how business got hit in 2006 when consumption, totally fell off the cliff, right? In fact, it was so bad that we had actually, poultry is a continuous production cycle. I can't tell the chickens not to produce eggs. They're not a machine, you can't turn it off.
Yeah.
So, eggs are being produced, the chickens are in the, eggs in the incubators are turning into chicks.
Yeah.
There's no way to stop that cycle. So in 2006, how could we turn the machine off? It was impossible. In fact, it was so bad, we had to actually, we have sold the chicks at 2 rupees, 3 rupees a piece, which usually retails at around 20, 21 rupees. So I had some experience handling that situation and coming out of it. And this year when COVID actually started and people started taking it seriously beginning of March, we were kind of prepared as to, okay, something is going to happen. We got to be careful about it. But we didn't expect the extent of COVID. We didn't expect that we would be shut for business by 24th March. So like everybody else, 24th March, we are an omni-channel player. We had 49 stores. And like everybody else, we were asked to shut. But the team came together and, since we are an essential commodity, we all banded together. I went to my team and said, okay, this is what it is. And I said, this is going to be the future, right? This is not going to go away. It's going to be, we have to learn to live with it. So let's get back on our toes. There's no sitting at home anymore. We'll all work from home. So the entire Nandu's team even today is working from home. Entire Nandu's team, except the frontline store team, we're all working from home. So we said, we put tech in place where people could actually work from home. We were tech heavy. So it was easy to transition people from the workplace to home. We went out and reached out to the authorities, got the licenses. We spent a lot of money on protecting our frontline people, the masks and the sanitizers. And coming from a poultry background, we are very big on biosecurity. Hygiene, biosecurity is part of our DNA, right? A lot of people learned about those things after COVID happened. So biosecurity is the mantra by which we live our life every single day. right? So when I go to any of my farms, I'm not allowed to come in if I have gone to other farms, within the past 1 week.
Mhm.
So when I go to the farm, I'm supposed to have a shower at home first thing in the morning. Early in the morning, I'm supposed to get there. The car gets washed and sanitized. I'm given a new set of clothes, which I change and get into the farm. So all of this has been practiced for decades with us. So we were prepared mentally,
Got it.
right?
Yeah.
So that helped us a bit. Then it was a lot of, I just asked my team, how do we ensure business continuity? A lot of talking to the team, making them responsible for answering some of the questions, right? So it was a collective team effort, and within 4 days, we were up and running.
Awesome.
Okay. So we opened with 13 outlets. Out of the 49, 13 opened the first day on 28th. And subsequently, we kind of assured all our teams to come back to work. And, we ensured that they are safe. We put all the protocols in place. We defined what is the procedure for them to come back to work. How do we check their health and temperatures and record that and get into work? Wearing of gloves was always a standard for us. Mask was standard because we are a food company. So we were always supposed to be wearing all of these protective gear. So it was like, the team was mentally prepared to fight this battle. And now it has become second nature for us.
Yeah.
Where all the 43 outlets are up and running, we took a hard stance and said, okay, how are we going to build a runway to survive this, right? So we paired our expenditure, we cut out, some of the things that we had not paid attention to. So to the entrepreneurs, what I would say is, these are times when you actually have to relook at everything that you had not looked at, right? So whether it be rentals for your office space or unnecessary meetings, unnecessary travel, unnecessary expenditure, we examined every single one of them. And the team came back and gave me a plan. We approved it, and then we are full on. We are gung ho today.
Awesome, sir. Hope that everyone in your company is like safe and healthy during these times.
Yeah, everybody is doing well, and their safety and security is the highest importance for us. So we absolutely ensure that we keep them we have all the protocols in place to keep them safe.
Awesome. Yeah. I think enough of us chatting. I think I'll have to open up with the attendees so that they can fire away their questions and get their thing.
Yeah.
Rashmi ma'am,
Yeah.
can we move on to that?